Michael Chandler was a father of two who was arrested on his way home one night for a broken headlight. When the officer walked over to talk to him, he saw that he had something in the backseat of his car. Michael ended up getting arrested and losing his job, as well as having to live off food stamps for the next 5 years because he didn't have a job. What was found in the back of his car was only 3 grams of marijuana. Legalizing marijuana on a federal level would benefit the United States as a whole and all of its inhabitants, especially the ones that need marijuana or enjoy using it recreationally. According to drugabuse.gov, 50% of adults have used marijuana at some point in their lives, making it by far the most common and prevalent drug, while it also is known to have the least adverse health effects of any other drug for users who aren't prescribed it. So today I'm going to be going over the problems that are basically making marijuana being illegal not a good thing and why it should be legal. I'm going to be talking about the causes or the barriers to why it's illegal and the solutions to how we can fix this problem to make it legal on a federal level. So right now, 4 in 10, according to Pew Research Center, 4 in 10 drug-related arrests are actually for marijuana instances, and the vast majority of those are for just simple marijuana possession. So there's a lot of problems that really happen because it's illegal, and that could pretty much be resolved if it wasn't illegal. So for one, a lot of families, especially in African American Black households, can get separated because of this. There's a plethora of cases where just for possession, a parent, usually the father, is taken because of a marijuana charge for either dealing it or selling it just to try to stay afloat, and then they end up going to prison and then staying there and getting involved in other things. So it can really be a gateway into like a criminal lifestyle. It's also a gateway drug, which is kind of the biggest problem with it being illegal because it makes it able to be a gateway drug, because marijuana is so different from these other drugs in terms of health effects and things like that, whereas cocaine and other things are addictive and can have negative effects on your brain, and you can overdose on them, and they're just not good for your body. Marijuana doesn't have any of these negative effects, and as long as you use it when you're an adult and you have a fully developed brain, it's actually not a big negative thing. So the fact that it's grouped in with those other drugs makes it so that people think, oh, well, I didn't have any problems when I did marijuana, so I might as well do cocaine after this, even though they're so different, they shouldn't even be considered in the same, overarching concept. So also, the fact that it's illegal makes it unregulated, which is probably the biggest problem with it, is because the fact that people that use marijuana have to buy it from either illegal dealers or things like that, because most people don't really have access to the legal ways of getting it, like like a store that you can buy it from, or dispensary. People don't have access to that, especially in places where it's illegal, so they have to get it from people that are dealing it illegally, people that grow it themselves, people that get it from like shady places that are just trying to make a business off it. Because it's unregulated, there's lots of accounts where there's bad chemicals in it, there's pesticides that they use on the plants, there's things like that that can cause really severe health defects in the people that use it because they have no idea how bad it is and what it can really do to them, as well as there's a possibility, and it's actually very common in a lot of places where there's dealers and people that sell that make it, that supply it along with other drugs like cocaine and things like that. So cocaine and other drugs like meth can end up in the weed, in the marijuana, that can make it so that it becomes like severely unhealthy and can actually kill somebody or cause them like health defects or like adverse addictions that they wouldn't have had before if it was just regulated by the government and agencies like that. Also, another one of the biggest reasons that it should be legal on a federal level is the the financial aspect of it, because there's a lot of money to be made off the industry that can come through with the whole economy. Because right now, the way it is because it's not technically like federally legal. You can't, like trade it interstate or any of these things. So like all that has to be done illegally, which makes it so that none of the money goes back to the economy through like taxes or other things like such as the stock market and stuff. So if it was legal, then you could trade the businesses that make it and sell it on the stock market, which would boost that industry, making us able to tax that industry more, and it would make us able to tax that industry at all. And then, so that would be a huge benefit to the whole world economy and the nation's economy if it was able to trade on the stock market and was able to be taxed federally, so that the money that was made off of that could come back into the people's pockets and could be used for maybe like a school or something that could really be a positive impact. So some of the causes that it's not, or the barriers to why it's like of negative health impact is that 33 out of 50 states haven't done anything with it yet, or haven't legalized it yet. So there's still 17 states that need to get it done, and until I think it's like a vast majority of the states have done it, it's still going to be illegal on the federal level. Also, it's seen as, there's a lot of fear of it because it's a drug, even though alcohol is actually a worse drug than marijuana is, as there's double the amount of alcohol-induced crime as there is marijuana-induced crime. So there's a lot of fear, especially in conservative states, because it's a drug and they're so anti-drug. But it actually, because of how prevalent it is to get, it just makes the problem worse because nobody's getting stopped from getting it. They're just getting it illegally, which just makes it worse because there's no way to stop that either. So just making it legal would solve all these problems. So the solutions to the problem that would be, the best solution would be basically to vote on it if it comes up in that. But even before that, you would need to campaign either online or locally to make this a success. And then so just campaign locally to legalize it, regulate it, and then vote on it at a federal level. And then on top of that, it would be really helpful to just vote on it, campaign, make it legal. And then, so basically I told you the problems of it and, the barriers to it, and what you need to do is to, campaign and vote for it with the knowledge you've learned about how it's, it would be much more beneficial for it to be legal than illegal. So hopefully now people that need it and people that, use it recreationally can have a, successful time with it if it can pass federally. Thank you.
I was the audience.